Today in the gospel, two different people interact with Jesus. The first one is called Simon the Pharisee, and the second one is a woman who is a public sinner, but whose name we don't know. Simon the Pharisee treats Jesus, I would say, in a correct way. He has the generosity of inviting Jesus over, and it looks like he did an okay job as a host. On the other hand, and in contrast, we have this public sinner, this woman. Her treatment with Jesus is extremely loving, tender, full of attention to details. So Simon the Pharisee, an okay host. He does what's correct. But the public sinner, she has all sort of details and tender and loving attentions with Jesus. Where does this stem from? Why is it that one just acts correctly and the other one is so loving and tender and sweet? Well, the key is in the gospel itself. Simon the Pharisee probably thinks that he has 50 wages of debt. But the other woman knows that her debt is very big and that she owes 500 wages. So her generosity and her tenderness and her attention from details stems from the acknowledgement that although she had a huge debt, that debt was forgiven, and she wanted to show her love back in gratitude for the debt that was forgiven. So let me ask you a question. How much have you been forgiven? 50 or 500? If you were to put a number in the debt that you have with the Lord, and the debt that He forgave you, how much did you owe Him? 50 or 500? I know that I owe Him 500 at least. At least 500. So I think that today is a good day to see how much we have been forgiven and to be awake to details. Because Jesus cares about details. And Jesus notices details. So if you today recognize that you were forgiven a great debt, what sort of details in your spiritual life would you be more awake to? What sort of small aspects of your day-to-day relationship with our Lord would you be more caring for? Today when I was meditating about this, I thought maybe this is a little embarrassing, but sometimes when I go to prayer, I take my cell phone and I get distracted. And I thought if I was more aware of how much I've been forgiven, I would be more awake to doing my prayer well. To those details that make a big difference. So today, brothers and sisters, remember that probably we've been forgiven a great debt. And in gratitude, let's be attentive to the small details.